Yeah, I love the torque that you get with the 2-liter. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're gonna be doing a review on a modified JL Wrangler. First and foremost, though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larch Miller Toyota here in Murray for giving me some time with this Wrangler. Check out their inventory and link below. Let's get into the video. So under the hood of this JL Wrangler, we have the 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Power outputs are about 270 horsepower and then 295 pound-feet of torque. And yeah, that's under the hood. Now let's go over the front end of this particular Rubicon. First off, I love the red. I believe this is called Firecracker Red. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's called Firecracker Red. Anyways, with all the Rubicons, you get the cool venting on the hood, Rubicon logo, and then this one does have the LED lighting groups. You've got the LED headlights and then the turn signal / accent lights. And then notice this one does have a winch that's been added to it. So this is a stock bumper. As you can see, it's got the fog lights, the red tow hooks, all of that. But you can add a winch system to these, and this is a perfect example of that. And yeah, that's everything for the front. So coming on the side here, I've got 285mm tires wrapped around 17-inch wheels in the front, and yes, this is an aftermarket setup. I actually really like the design on these wheels, especially compared to what you get with the stock ones. Now you can see these aren't the most aggressive tires, so they actually are going to be a little bit smoother on-road compared to like crazy mud terrain tires, but you can see still, I mean, these will get great grip. And then this does have TeraFlex suspension added to it, and you guys can kind of see that right there with the shock. But yeah, that's everything for the front. And then I'll quickly show you guys the setup here in the rear, or at least what we can kind of see with the setup. Definitely gives it a nice stance. I mean, this thing looks really beefy from a side view perspective. And then notice right there with the little venting on the side, and then the Jeep logo, and then we do have these steps, and well, that's all for the side, folks. Bada bang, bada boom. Ooh. Popping here into the back, this one does have the Alpine sound system. Then you can see the extra storage underneath there. And there is a 12-volt. And then you can see, again, pretty sure Firecracker Red on the inside right here. And, well, we've seen this a million times. We're going to close that up. We're going to close that up. Cool. And then you can see the spare tire matches all of the rest of the wheels so that it kind of all looks good. And then you still have the camera there on the center portion, and then the red tow hook and LED lights here on the back. But yeah, that's all for the rear. Now here's the door panel in the back. Notice we've got the nice red stitching right here. That's part of the Rubicon package, and then it's all throughout the leather seats here in the rear. Got the window controls there on the back, and then you've got a full power outlet as well. Rubber floor mats, and I mean, this has quite a few miles on it, and the interior and the back's held up very well. Also, look at the top right there with the liner. But yeah, there you go. Here's a door panel in the front. So again, notice we got the leather with the stitching. You've got the cargo net right here, the mirror adjustment, the door lock and unlock. By the way, the mirrors are heated. And then here are the seats at the front. So again, Rubicon logo, we've got the stitching all throughout. The seats are manually adjustable. There's the pedals down below. Got the light control right here. The steering wheel is manually adjustable just like the seats. And there's one more look before we pop in. I'm just gonna quickly glaze over the interior. So we've got, again, red stitching on the steering wheel, leather wrapped steering wheel as well. And again, it's held up pretty well. This has 22,000 miles on it, if you're wondering. Got the cruise control here as well with the voice command controls and the controls for the center stack. And there is the gauge cluster right there. You've got all the red outlining everything and all across the dash because, again, it's a Rubicon. With the infotainment system, you guys know I'm a huge fan. So first off, there is the backup camera. Resolution on it is great. But as for the rest, the infotainment system response time is great. With the Rubicon, you have dual zone climate, heated seats, and a heated steering wheel as well. And you can access those just right here. And then you can also see the backup camera. And then down below, we've got all of our analog climate controls, analog controls for the seats. That just turns off the screen. Your hill descent control, parking sensors, stability control. That's for the auto stop start. Yes, this does come with that. And you've got the windows, the front two are automatic. And then you've got a bunch of areas where you can basically charge devices, auxiliary switches. We've got our sway bar disconnect, and then you've got the front and rear locker, but you can also just do the rear locker with this. You can't just do the front, you have to do front plus rear or just rear. Anyways, got the driveline select right here, 2-wheel high, 4-wheel high, neutral, and then 4-wheel low. shifter for the 8-speed automatic. You can still get these with the manual, but I do recommend the 8-speed automatic. It drives fantastic, especially in traffic and all that kind of stuff. And then we've got our e-brake right here with more red stitching. And then we've got the cup holders, got the center console set up, got the Jeep grab bar, and then you've got more red here, and then got the stitching on the top of the dash, and then the regular glove box. And you guys will note that we've got this here at the front as well that the previous owner added. And well, that's all for the Wrangler. Now, if you want the most up-to-date pricing on this particular Wrangler, then again, just check out the Larry H. Miller Toyota and Murray's website in the description down below. Let's take her out and see how she drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. There's your visibility through the hood, or over the hood rather, and then through the mirrors, and then the rest of the back. Let's set off. We are setting off in this Wrangler Rubicon, again, that has a few light modifications. Now, first off, let's talk about how this drives with the TeraFlex swap. So first off, this actually does feel a little bit smoother compared to a stock Rubicon. It doesn't have the same level of harshness that you get with a stock Rubicon, so that's definitely a huge plus with this particular suspension setup. Aside from that, there is quite a bit of tire noise, but I mean, that's kind of expected for a Wrangler. It just pretty much comes with the territory. Now, since I had to stop quite fast up there, the brakes on this, I just drove a Tacoma TRD Pro back-to-back with this, and the brakes on this are not nearly as touchy as the Tacoma. It's pretty interesting on that side of things. I do like the turbo 2-liter. You guys know I'm a fan of the engine. It doesn't sound as good as the Pentastar V6, but I definitely do like overall just the feeling of it, low-end torque, and all of that. Aside from that, yeah, I mean, it's just super smooth. I'm impressed. I definitely do like how this suspension setup feels compared to stock. So far, definitely a positive with this particular one, but we'll kind of get up to speeds and we'll go over the train tracks a little bit so I can really see how this handles. So going over the train tracks, yeah, definitely feels better than a stock Rubicon. Yeah, I love the torque that you get with the 2-liter. It gets up and moves. And again, since I'm in Utah and at about 4,500 feet elevation right here, the turbocharged engine definitely just performs better compared to a naturally aspirated engine. That's just kind of how things are. So yeah, if you live at elevation, I definitely recommend the 2.0 just because of the low end torque, but then also you're not gonna have as much power loss as you get with the naturally aspirated engine. With that being said, let's kind of sum things up with this Wrangler and kind of my overall thoughts on it. So first off, tires and wheels. I actually like the wheels. I'm not as in love with the tires. So I think the wheels are the perfect size. Now the tires, they're a little bit louder. I'd kind of prefer something almost with a little bit more sidewall. These ones are pretty good, but I feel like I just want something that's, I don't know, just a little bit more just to kind of make it so there's a little bit less road noise, but on top of that, not as much harshness from the ride because of the tires. Aside from that, from a suspension standpoint, I definitely like this TeraFlex setup. It's very smooth. It definitely rides better than stock. It absorbs everything better than stock. And so I definitely think it's worth it if you do own a Rubicon Wrangler, just to kind of make this a little bit more daily drivable. Now, I obviously can't comment on how this would perform off-road, but I've heard a lot of good things about TeraFlex, and so I'm gonna kind of make the assumption that this probably would even perform better off-road, because if it's smoother on-road, then that means that it's going to be smoother off-road as well, and so then it's gonna be a little bit more controllable in those situations and all that. So yeah, overall, I definitely like this setup. I just would kind of wish it had a little bit different tires on it. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this modified Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. And let's get some things up for our video on this modified Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry H. Miller Toyota here in Murray for giving me some time with this Wrangler. Check out the inventory link below. I'll see all of you in the next video.